Michael Jimenez. Halftime.
Yes, sir! It's halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, your host from 12 to 2. Hope everyone's having a good Monday. It's the start of Thanksgiving week. I know a lot of us are off for the whole week. Some of us are only going to be off Thursday and Friday. Others, man, are going to have to work the holidays. So a shout out to those of you who are working holidays. We're going to work on Friday as well, but my name's Michael Jimenez again. Halftime goes from 12 to 2. We talk sports, pop culture, some nostalgia. It's like a locker room, man. It's guy talk. Speaking of guys, my co-host today, James Pledger. What's going on, my man?
What's happening, dude? I've got bones to pick with you.
How many?
Multiple.
How many?
So many.
Let's start.
This is like a Thanksgiving turkey full of bones that I have to pick with you.
I have a bone to pick with you, too.
You should.
I'm hurting. Okay, I am hurting because you and I went out.
That's my first bone to pick with you.
Tell me.
Man up. You're hurting 2 days later.
Okay, first of all.
How old are you?
I am 44 years old, but I'm feeling 64 today because I'm not hurting because I had a couple of cocktails. I'm hurting because of daylight savings time added on to the fact that you kept me out till 4:30 in the morning.
Here's the thing. You can't keep blaming daylight savings time like 4 weeks later.
Dude,
your body has to have adjusted by now.
Dude, it hasn't adjusted at all. And then coming home at 4:30, that was bad. So I ended up coming inside my house, right? So I opened the door and I have we have a dining room right in the front. And
did you give your wife my text?
I did. I'll get to that in a second. I took off my belt because I didn't want it to, make noise.
Jingle.
Yes, as I was getting to the bedroom. I put it on the table. I took off my shoes. I took off my pants. I was going to make it as quiet as possible getting into the bedroom.
It actually sounded like.
Exactly. And I'm making my way into the bedroom, trying to tiptoe my way in, as though I don't remember or I don't realize that when I open the door, my alarm system goes, door open.
Beep, beep, beep.
Exactly.
Door ajar.
So I make my way to the bedroom and I, get a t-shirt on. I'm getting into bed, crawling into bed. And my wife looks at me and goes, "What time is it? What time is it?" And I said, "It's 4. It's 4.
Lied.
Yeah, lie. It was 4:30. So I had to explain why I stayed out so late. So first of all, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs, Ken's 5. It was his birthday. We decided to take him out. Had a good time over at 1919 over at the Blue Star and also Joe Cool. Great place. Love going there. Had a few drinks. It was a good time. But afterwards, we decided, why don't we go get something to eat? Right?
God, we spent a lot in Ubers.
Yeah. But by the time...
But it's not our fault. Everything was closed.
Dude, we went everywhere around town, man. We went to Mi Tierra, and it was closed. And we went to Mama Margie's on the south side, and it was only open in the drive-thru. And then we made our way over to Chacho's because, come on, man, Chacho's is always open. At least when I was younger, it was. It was closed. We saw Las Palapas across the street on I-10 in Callahan and said, "Oh, well, we'll just mosey on over there." Nope. We saw people in the dining room. We get to the door and they're like, "Dude, we're out of food. We're not going to have any new food until 6 o'clock." So we made our way over to Denny's. And don't be wrong, nothing wrong with Denny's food, but it didn't hit the spot. That just wasn't it. But I'm kind of disappointed in San Antonio, man. It was a Friday night. You would think these places would be open. They were back in the day, but I guess they just haven't recovered from COVID, I guess.
Yeah, I think probably there's a work shortage or a staff shortage at most of these places, which also contributes to that fact. So
hey, I get that, man. 213 plus tips, man. That's tough. It's been 29 years since there's been a raise in that wage. 29 years. So I'm fine with it, right? But it was just a little bit odd. But I don't feel bad because I had cocktails. I feel bad because I went to sleep so late. And I'm nodding off during the games last night. Fortunately, the Cowboys played at 3, right? At 3:30. So I could get a little bit of a nap in. But this morning, man, I'm hurting. I'm not hurting as in I'm hungover. I'm hurting as in I need about 6 more hours sleep. But I did share with my wife the text message.
That's fair then. Like, if you're hurting because you haven't slept, that's one thing. If you were still hurting from a hangover today, I was going to be mad at you.
No. That went away pretty quickly, man. Just drink some water. And
you actually have one?
Yeah. I had a mini one, right? I had a mini one. It wasn't a bad one or anything like that, but it's funny because you had mentioned to me, I woke up to a text from you saying, please apologize to your wife. Please read her this apology.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it, right? Because she didn't bring it up, right? But I didn't read it to her until last night. And the apology basically said that he was late. That he apologizes for me to come in home late because Pledger was late getting to the place. He didn't show up till like past 1 o'clock.
Yeah, that's on me. I'm sorry.
And because of that, the night didn't really start until 1 o'clock. So you had an apology. You had an apology from my wife, Selena, and she accepted it. But she did say this: tell Pledger that the next time we go out and stay out late, to keep me out past 7 a.m. so that she can have a full night's sleep, because she's more upset that she was woken up at 4.
Basically, so take you home in the Uber with me and let you sleep on my couch until the morning.
Exactly. Wifey is good to me. Wifey is really good to me, man. We have a big show today. Lots of
that was
topics.
only one bone I have.
Oh, well.
Remember, I have multiple bones.
We'll get back to the bones, but let me just tease out what we're talking about today. Okay, big day. We're gonna find out.
I'm a Thanksgiving Day turkey full of bones.
We're gonna be talking obviously the Cowboys. They lost to the Chiefs last night, 19-9. What are we gonna make out of this? And also, are we a little bit worried, Cowboy fans? They've lost 2 out of 3, and it looks like CeeDee Lamb might not be there on Thursday.
AFC West is their kryptonite.
Exactly. So weird. LeBron James, is he bigger than the NBA? What a crazy night. What a scary scene last night in Detroit. I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that LeBron clobbered some dude. Just clobbered him. And it looked like that guy went through 11 rounds. He was bleeding all over the court.
And I just showed you the video.
Yes. Now, I had seen highlights of it all and 5 minutes, but now seeing it at a different angle, I have a different spin to it.
There you go.
Different spin to it. Obviously, we're going to talk UTSA football. What a great win. I saw some people on Twitter.
That's my second bone with you.
We will get to these bones, man.
No.
We've got 2 hours,
I'm aware, but you bring up the UTSA game. Great win. Way to go, Coach Traylor. Way to go, UTSA. Jimenez was supposed to be at this game with us.
Yeah.
That was my other bone. So what happened on Saturday?
What happened on Saturday?
Because you were out that night.
I was out that night. Okay, what happened on Saturday? See, what happened was I had every intention of going to the UTSA game, right? Now, I was going to go to the last one, but I had kidney stones and, well, I hadn't passed it yet. So I got a doctor's excuse for the one 2 weeks ago. But this past weekend on Saturday, my wife was like, go ahead and go to the game. But I felt, even though she said it was okay.
But I was going to be there, and she loves me.
She does. We
went to Pinkerton's afterwards.
And Rudy J was going to be there, and Minix and all the guys. Carl was out there. But my kids looked at me and said, Daddy, will you take us to the movies? And I thought about all the time that I've been spending away from home because we've been having all these Rock the Mic events. I was out earlier in the week for the Rock the Mic finals. I've been missing sometimes during the week. I missed a parent PTA, or not a PTA, parent teacher conference for my kids. And I just felt bad. And even though I wasn't guilt tripped, I kind of guilt tripped myself. And I thought to myself, I can just watch this game on TV, which I did.
You know what this feels a lot like?
Tell me.
This feels a lot like Ben Simmons' mental health. It's like, I'm just going to go into the well. Oh, my kids, they hadn't spent a whole lot of time with them. They make me feel bad.
You see, but now I'm afraid to go because if I go on December 3rd, which, by the way, I have an excuse already lined up, the fact that it's my mom's birthday that day, Conference USA Finals, the championship game is on December 3rd, which is a Friday. It's a little bit odd. But now I'm afraid of being a jinx.
See, I went despite that. It was my first time. We walked in the door. down 7-0 after buying our tickets. Rudy immediately turns to me and goes, "Get out." We walk in the door trailing 7-0.
Well, I was talking about this all week long, that UAB is a legit team who has UTSA's number. And all honesty, UAB should have won that game. The fact that UTSA won is an outright miracle. So many stars needed to align the last 2 minutes of the game to make that happen, and they all did. I'm so excited. I'm a UTSA alum, and I typically go to a couple of games a year. But at this point, I feel like I'm a jinx because I went to my daughter's school at LSU. They lost. I went to the New Orleans Saints game. They lost. I went to Spurs games this year. They've lost.
But those are all three bad teams.
But they're all at home. And in fact, they were favored in 3 of the 4 games I've been to this year. So I just, you know what? If I show up and they lose to Western Kentucky or to Marshall or whoever they're playing in that championship game, I'm going to blame myself. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to cheer. I've been watching all the games on TV. I will cheer. I've been wearing the T-shirts. I will cheer.
A little bit of breaking news concerning UTSA as they have just swept the Conference USA Weekly Player of the Week awards. Frank Harris, Offensive Player of the Week. Outside linebacker Clarence Hicks, Defensive Player of the Week. And kicker Hunter Duplessis is the Special Teams Player of the Week.
Dude, Hunter Duplessis might be my favorite player on that team. Like, if I had to bet my life on a field goal kick, I wouldn't pick anybody in the NFL to make that kick from 45 yards for my life, if my life depended on it. I would want Hunter Duplessis out there because the dude is just money.
Now, I do have a bone to pick with some of San Antonio about the 25 to 5,000 people that left the game when they didn't convert on that 4th and 1, as I saw them making their way to the exits.
Right. But at least I admit that I wasn't there, because even though there were 35,000 people there, if you
100,000 were there.
Yes, if you surveyed San Antonio,
and none left.
100,000 were there. None of them left. They were all tailgating. You know, they all bought souvenirs. It was amazing. You know, they could have filled up the Rose Bowl.
But here's the thing, because my brain works differently, and I get it. Not everybody's gonna function at the same time as me. But I immediately turn when they rule 4th down, turnover on downs, didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I turn to Rudy and I'm like, about 1:10. If they can get a stop, they can get the ball back with about 1:10. They get the ball back with 1:07. So pretty good.
So you mentioned that UTSA swept all the conference awards for this week. Coach of the week should have been UAB's coach on behalf of UTSA for not going on it from 4th down and 3 chain links. I mean,
that's
3 chain links.
That's brutal. But if you're listening to R&R this morning, you heard Jeff Traylor say that's who that coach is. He knew he wasn't going to go for it.
What a wuss. What a wuss. What in the Jason Garrett was that?
I get it. I felt horrible as they're lining up to go for it on 4th. I'm not even in my seat. I'm down in the stairs, just kind of crouched over, like nervously, because I don't feel good about them stopping it.
What in the Bill O'Brien was that? They averaged
exactly what that was.
They averaged 4.8 yards per carry the entire game, and you're asking them to get 3 inches. But congratulations to the UTSA Roadrunners. We'll talk more about the Roadrunners, and also University of Incarnate Word conference championships as well, man. This is where football plays. Football comes from San Antonio. Hey, let's talk some LeBron James, man. We're gonna find out in the next 24 to 48 hours if LeBron James is bigger than the NBA.
Oh, he is, and we've known this.
I have absolutely no faith that he's going to be suspended for last night.
Well, they've got a big TNT game coming up.
God. You know, okay, so for those of you who weren't watching or don't have Twitter, weren't watching SportsCenter or anything like that, LeBron James made someone's face yesterday. Isaiah Stewart from the Pistons made his face look like a pizza. Okay. He blew him up with a forearm.
And you have changed your stance on this.
No. I've always been that LeBron needs to be suspended for this.
No. Oh, you have?
So the pictures,
because I just showed you a video and you said I've changed everything.
No, I just got more angry.
Okay.
So it was a third quarter. Pistons were up by 12. LeBron is lined up at the free throw line to try to get a rebound. And they got tied up with Isaiah Stewart. And LeBron just throws his fist out and connects forearm, like a backhanded forearm, to the face of Isaiah Stewart. Now, Isaiah Stewart's kind of freaking out. The weird thing was that the blood didn't start gushing out for like another 15, 20 seconds. So he got startled, he got upset, and then I think Isaiah Stewart got embarrassed because after about 15 or 20 seconds, blood started gushing out of his eye and it covered his face, it covered his jersey. And at that point, I thought the Malice at the Palace Part 2 was about to start because this happened in Detroit. It was almost the anniversary because back in November of 2004 was that whole Steven Jackson, Ron Artest melee out there in Detroit. I thought that was going to happen again, but Isaiah Stewart went after LeBron 4 different times. So many players were in the way. At the end, LeBron James was ejected from the game. And at the end, Isaiah Stewart was basically escorted off the court. Russell Westbrook also got a technical foul. But the question I have for you, Pledge, is this.
Yep.
With all the video evidence that we have here, will LeBron James be suspended?
He will not. He should. He will not.
So I agree with you. He should be suspended. Like if this was any other player, this guy would be out for 1 or 2 games.
If you want to see why I'm so adamant about this, I have retweeted a video that shows the intent. You can go to my Twitter page at @IamPledger and see that he turns, looks for where Stewart is before committing to swinging a closed fist at his face.
That's exactly what happened. You mentioned Twitter. You're at @IamPledger. I am at MikeESPNSA. The Kielbasa Bacon phone lines are also open at 656 ESPN. If you want to talk about any of this, again, 656 ESPN. I look at it this way. LeBron James, I've been hearing all these apologists come out today and say, well, he doesn't have a record. He doesn't have a record of this. He's not a dirty player. Well, you know what? It's because we give him the benefit of the doubt every single time. If someone gets arrested 12 times and has charges dropped all 12 times, that doesn't mean that he's clean. It just means that he has a clean record.
It means he's got a good lawyer.
That's exactly what that is. But we're going to see right now, does the NBA have the stones to do this, to
absolutely
to suspend LeBron James? This reminded me of 2 things. It reminded me of the Malice at the Palace in 2004, and it reminded me of the time that Karl Malone knocked out David Robinson with that elbow.
Mm-hmm.
It was that bad. It was that same type of move. It wasn't an NBA move. And when you showed me that other angle that showed that LeBron saw him before he threw that punch, he saw him. It can't be like, oh, well, I just flared my arm out and I just made contact. No, he saw him and threw.
Located him.
God, LeBron James, man. I mean, he gets away with everything in the NBA. The collusion between players, Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, and the collusion going to LA, and all of this, and he has a clean record because everyone says, oh, he's not a dirty player. What are you talking about? Just because, okay, he does get fouled a lot, okay, because he's the biggest guy on the court. He's 6'9". They have him listed as 250. Nonsense. That guy's 290.
Second
easy.
biggest guy on the court.
Yes. Now the guy he hit is relatively the same size.
No, I mean second biggest guy on the court. Giannis is an unstoppable freak of nature too.
Right. but in taking a look at LeBron, he gets flustered and frustrated, but it's more dangerous when that guy gets frustrated because he's bigger than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And to cause that much damage to someone's face, either he is Glass Joe from the Mike Tyson Punch-Out games, or that was one hell of a contact, man.
That was one hell of a contact, man. That's exactly what it was. He's not Glass Joe.
And I think Isaiah Stewart got embarrassed.
You said it yourself. He's the biggest guy on the floor most of the time.
I think Stewart got embarrassed. I think Stewart just got embarrassed because his face blew up.
I think he got mad.
Well, embarrassment turned into anger. And the fact of the matter is that, you know, I miss the 80s basketball. I miss the 90s basketball. I miss the enforcers. I mean, even the Spurs had enforcers back in the day when we had Steven Jackson, when we had Mario Elie. There's certain players back in the day, you know, the Vernon Maxwell type players of the world.
Robert Horry was an enforcer.
Robert Horry was a big time enforcer. And it's funny because talking to Spurs fans who have revisionist history, and I'm a huge Spurs fan, you know this, but I'm also a realist. You know, the Spurs were not all choir boys. I mean, David Robinson was, and Tim Duncan, and to some extent Tony and Manu. But don't get me wrong, we surrounded them with enforcers who you are not going to touch them, which is why a couple of weeks ago, when Russell Westbrook, who plays for the same team as LeBron James, manhandled Keldon Johnson, and none of the Spurs went to go protect Keldon or get in the way. And that's the moment I realized this Spurs team was soft, by the way. Soft. And last night, man, had that been the 80s, had that been the 90s, there would have been full-on Royal Rumble action going on that court.
Basketball players can't fight.
But what's funny about it, though, is that the announcers from Detroit were there, the overhead speaker announcers, saying, everyone sit down. Everyone sit down. No one go on to the court. Do not antagonize any of these players. Stay in your seats. Stay in your seats. We will resolve the situation. And even better was when the referee announced that Isaiah Stewart was going to be basically ejected for a double technical. He referred to him as Isaiah Thomas. Even better. He goes, Isaiah Thomas. I mean Isaiah Stewart. We'll talk more about this later on the show. Let's get some headlines. Here's Pleasure with the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
We'll start things off as the Eagles have signed linebacker Tj Edwards to a one-year contract extension through 2022. The deal's worth $3.2 million, contains $2.15 in guarantees. The 25-year-old's been central in the team's defensive turnaround in recent weeks as he has 45 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, an interception, and a fumble recovery since being inserted into the team's starting lineup as the middle linebacker in Week 8. The Eagles have won 3 of 4 games during that span, and the defense has only yielded 19 points a game, 4 points below their season average to that point. He is the third Eagle to receive an extension in the last few days, joining tight end Dallas Goedert and cornerback Avonte Maddox as they beat your Saints, by the way.
That's
thoroughly
right.
stomped them.
Well, the Saints played a third stringer as their quarterback, and the Saints aren't going to win any games with Trevor Siemian out there as quarterback. Why Taysom Hill is not taking the snaps, I don't know. I'd rather have Taysom out there. But as far as the Eagles and these guys getting extensions, they all deserve it. The Eagles are playing well right now. Half a game out of the playoffs, right? Because now we have 7 teams who make the playoffs. Right now, 9 games might get you in. 9 wins. They're 5-6. And the Eagles are looking kind of feisty. Jalen Hurts suddenly looking like Russell Wilson out there. Young Russell Wilson. Not 2021 Russell Wilson. But take a look at this. They beat the Saints, beat the Broncos, came within 3 of beating the Chargers, beat the living crap out of the Lions, and came within 4 against the Buccaneers. They've been strong the last 5 or 6 weeks.
Yes, they have, and I've pointed that out over the weekend on the Saturday Morning Hangover as a team to keep an eye on that might make a late playoff push. This is a team, Jalen Hurts looks like he's figuring things out. Nick Sirianni is utilizing him to his strengths. Devontae Smith,
yes.
Got to find out which Devontae I'm talking about. Devontae Smith has really come on kind of as a go-to receiver for them. They just got Miles Sanders back in their backfield again, and that defense has completely turned around and been playing well the last 4 to 5 weeks.
Take a look at the Eagles' schedule coming up. At the Giants, at the Jets,
Washington twice, Giants twice,
and then they play against the Cowboys. They might run the table a little bit. I would not be surprised if in about a month or so where they're 9-7.
Not at all.
Very possible coming into the Dallas game. And they might be playing that game
Headline 1
for a playoff berth.
Yep. Hall of Famer Kevin Garnett on a recent podcast has listed his all-time starting five. Those starting five, Magic. He said MJ, then switched it to Kobe, Kevin Durant, himself, and Wilt Chamberlain. He reiterated, MJ, I'm going to go with Kobe. I'm going with Kobe. I'm rolling with Kobe.
Kobe Bryant, the greatest 44% shooter of all time.
Any issues with this list?
Oh my God, this list is ridiculous. But what else would you expect from Kevin Garnett? That's just Garnett's thing. You know, he's about himself, and I get it. He is an all-time great. He's probably one of the top 30 players of all time, right? But taking a look at this list, Magic, I'm fine with. Magic is a top 5 player of all time. I don't think Kobe's top 10 all time. I never thought that. I thought Kobe's a top 20 player.
Obviously, MJ goes there.
MJ goes there. Duncan goes there. And Wilt Chamberlain, I understand, but I'm sorry. I have said this all the time. The GOAT of the NBA, the GOAT
at center
is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But I still like Garnett's swagger when it comes to it all.
Oh, his swagger's fantastic, but you could tell that the shot is thinly veiled at Tim Duncan in this.
Oh, I know. But he's always talked about the fact that he's never been able to get under Tim's skin. And Tim Duncan will look at this and go, who cares? He'll never even look at it. He doesn't care.
He doesn't even know that this exists.
5 rings, baby. Scoreboard.
Headline 0.
The Dallas Cowboys have fallen to the Kansas City Chiefs 19-9 up at Arrowhead yesterday afternoon as the offense was held without a touchdown for the first time this season. Chris Jones had 3.5 sacks for the Chiefs.
He was amazing.
As the team played without Tyron Smith, Amari Cooper, and lost CeeDee Lamb to a concussion during the first half of that game.
Please don't give any excuses.
Who does this say more about?
It says a lot about the Cowboys. It really does, because the Cowboys have a 7-3 record, but in my eyes, they're 2-2. They played 4 good games, 4 good teams this year, and they're 2-2 against them. They played the Chargers, they played the Bucks. You know, they played this game. They're 2-2 against good teams. The weird thing about this game, though, and I don't want to hear injuries being an issue, because
no Tyron Smith.
All teams have injuries. We're halfway through the season. Are you telling me that other teams that the Cowboys are playing, or the Texans are playing, or the Saints are playing aren't depleted too? They're all experiencing injuries. It's just time for the backups to come up and be the next in line. Be ready.
That's the 4-1 and a 2-1-0.
Okay, and I will say this about this game, because I have been saying for a long time, the Chiefs are getting right. That defense has been playing better. I know it was the Giants. I know it was an Aaron Rodgers-less Bucs. I know the Raiders were in a free fall, but this is something we've seen out of the Chiefs for the last 4 seasons is they start putrid defensively and nobody realizes it, but halfway through the season that defense starts to play better and better and better, and the addition of Melvin Ingram to that defensive line and putting Chris Jones back on the inside where he embarrassed Zach Martin, who is known as the best guard in the game.
Yeah, this game was unlike anything I was expecting. 19-9. If you had told me before the game started that Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott would have combined for 0 touchdowns thrown, combined for 0, I would have thought to myself that both got injured in the first quarter. I was expecting a track meet, but it didn't happen. Cowboys lost this game 19-9. And when we come back, let's talk more about the Cowboys, because this is something that needs to be broken down a little bit. Should Cowboy fans be worried, especially with CeeDee Lamb going out? That was the biggest play of the entire game. And we're also going to talk UTSA football, an amazing weekend for the Roadrunners. Cannot believe it happened. Cannot believe UTSA pulled it out, but they did. Miracle season continues. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Football in America is a special game, a unique game played like nowhere else on earth. It's a rare game, and the men that play it make it so. Prescott, Elliott, Cooper, and Coach Mike McCarthy. And today these men walk the gridiron with one thing in common, with one mission between them: winning. The Dallas Cowboys play here on the home of the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Alamo Water Softeners is having a Black Friday special until November 27th. Purchase one of their bundles between today and November 27th and receive a free 1-year tune-up on your water softener and a free water heater flush. Jason Minix here. Alamo Water Softeners has water treatment bundles with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment, and they're offering 0% financing for 2 years with approved credit. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference at alamowatersofteners.com. Injuries happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Dr. Espinosa treats all non-surgical orthopedic injuries and has same-day and next-day availability. Telemedicine services are also available. There is no reason to be in pain. If you are hurting, visit Dr. David Espinosa at TSAOG Orthopedics. Learn more at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com, or schedule your appointment by calling 210-804-5490.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Fever is a potential sign of COVID or the flu, and the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Exergen temporal scanners, available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Go to Total Wine, you'll save more. So many wines and spirits galore. Down through the aisles with corks to pop. Ask for friendly advice while you shop. Oh, so much to explore. Oh, so many to pour. Holiday cheers, clink, clink, clink. Get everyone their favorite drink.
Now offering delivery in select markets. See details at TotalWine.com/deliver. Drink responsibly, B21.
Finding the right Medicare plan may feel impossible, but now it's anything but. With Walgreens Find RX coverage tool, you can compare plans online, over the phone, or in person, making Medicare easier than ever. Easier than picking which true crime doc to watch, figuring out that Wi-Fi password, or putting the duvet cover back on. So if you can do those things, with Find RX coverage, you can definitely Medicare. Find the plan that's right for you by visiting walgreens.com/Medicare.
Take a break from the hustle. This is Halftime with Michael Jimenez on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Bring that ass back like a boom, 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 boom.
Heads up, Cowboys fans. If you want tickets to every single Dallas Cowboys home game, you have a chance to win. Just go on to sasportstar.com to register to win. And also, the Cowboys back in action on Thanksgiving Day, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. Kickoff is at 3:30, pregame at 2:30. You can listen to it all on the San Antonio Sports Star. The San Antonio Sports Star is your home
for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. Welcome back to Halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by James Pledger. Let's talk more about the Cowboys. That was a big game yesterday. It was a telling game in many, many ways. Cowboys lost to the Chiefs.
Is it big?
19-9.
Because I hear a lot of people talking about to interconference doesn't mean anything.
No. This was a measuring stick game. You're measuring yourself up against good teams. I'm sorry, man. The Cowboys have had a very, very easy schedule, and good teams take care of the bad teams. And the Cowboys have been doing that repeatedly this year. But again, the Cowboys have only played 4 games against quality competition, and they've won 2 of them. Okay, they lost to the Buccaneers. They lost to the Chiefs. Oddly enough, both of them played in the Super Bowl. So taking a look at this game, 19-9, the game's most important play was towards the end of the second quarter, few seconds to go. Cowboys trying to score to kind of keep it close. Dak was intercepted in the end zone. CeeDee Lamb tried to make a play on the ball, couldn't make the catch, landed on his back and hit the back of his head onto the turf. Concussion, and you saw at halftime as he was walking off the field, he never saw the field again. He's hurt, and now because it's a short week, he's probably going to be out this game as well, coming up against the Las Vegas Raiders. But Pledge, man, how hard is it going to be for the Cowboys to recover without CeeDee Lamb?
I mean, it's not so much CeeDee Lamb as it is CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, because this is a receiving core that was built on, look how deep they are. Michael Gallup is your third. Well, Michael Gallup is suddenly their one, as CeeDee Lamb's going to miss this game due to COVID, and likely CeeDee Lamb is out this game due to the concussion. So no Amari, no CeeDee. Michael Gallup's your one. Now Cedric Wilson is your 2, and you're starting to see kind of what Aaron Rodgers has to deal with when he's got a 1, but he doesn't have a lot after the 1. And Dalton Schultz should be the beneficiary of that. I mean, you being a fantasy god understand the importance, but Cedric Wilson, man, he did not look ready for the moment. I saw a lot of drops.
No, I mean, he even dropped to a glorified handoff. One of my concerns for the Cowboys, though, in this past game was the fact that they passed the ball so often. That was one of the things at the beginning of the season where the Cowboys were not distributing the ball very cleanly. You know, it was one of those things where I like it when the Cowboys are 55% pass, 45% run, establish the run.
Yeah.
You have Zeke Elliott, you have Tony Pollard back there, quality backs, but they didn't do that this past game.
They didn't, but you got to look at it in the same, because you can't undermine the fact that this team is dealing with injuries. I know all teams are dealing with injuries, but these are big injuries that the Cowboys are dealing with.
All teams have big injuries.
Like
all teams have big injuries.
Michael, you cannot undermine the fact that they're without their starting left tackle, that they are without 2 of their top receivers, that they are without both of their starting defensive ends. They are just starting to get some of the defensive tackle depth back that they've been without for most of the season. Like, they've suffered some big injuries that a lot of teams aren't dealing with. The Chiefs were actually getting healthy. They just got Clyde Edwards-Helaire back.
Now, Randy Gregory and DeMarcus Lawrence are 2 big losses. I would agree with that. But
so are Amari Cooper and CeeDee Lamb.
They still kept the Chiefs down to 19 points.
Yes.
They still did. Micah Parsons is amazing. He is amazing.
Defensive Rookie of the Year, no doubt.
Easily. He can miss the rest of the season. I would still give him that award. But I take a look at it this way. The Cowboys offensively were very, very slow. I think they just became predictable. Because if you saw the last couple of games with the Cowboys, they were doing a lot of wide receiver screens. They were doing a lot of these screens where they go to the left, pretend that it's going to be a handoff, and then it's a wide receiver screen, or vice versa. It's a wide receiver screen. No, we're going to go the other way to Zeke Elliott. And it just seemed as though the Chiefs knew exactly what they were going to be doing. Michael Gallup was getting blown up on these wide receiver screens, and a lot of these passes were kind of high. So you see him jumping for it. And every single time, defensive back just kind of clobbered him. Every single time. I think the play calling was predictable.
See, I don't go with predictable, because there was a change along the offensive line made this week. And they switched Connor Williams with Connor McGovern. And by doing that, and I brought this up Saturday, what happens with the plays they had specifically designed for Connor McGovern due to his athleticism? What happens when they split him out wide to block on those screens? What happens when they line him up back in the backfield as the fullback? What happens to these niche plays that were big plays within the Cowboys playbook, and they all seem to get positive yardage now that he is no longer able to go in for these sect of plays?
The Chiefs dared Dak to throw downfield, and he just didn't do it. He didn't do it. That wasn't the game plan. The game plan was wide receiver screen, running back screen, plays up the middle to the tight end. It was a very conservative playbook, even though they were passing the ball a lot more than they were rushing. I just thought it was too conservative. I thought it was too predictable. But the Cowboys are a good team, man. At the end of the day, they're a good team. At the end of the day, they're going to win the NFC East. Now, right now, they're sitting as third in the NFC. They might drop to 4 if Tampa Bay wins. Good news for the Cowboys was the Packers lost, but then again, Arizona Cardinals won and have now taken over the top spot in the NFC as of now, which is weird because we talk about injuries, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Cardinals regained the top spot in the NFC without Kyler Murray.
And DeAndre Hopkins.
They've won 2 out of 3 games without Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins.
And J.J. Watt.
Okay, so you see, every single team has injuries, man. Cowboy fans cannot hold their hat on, we lost because of injuries. That's just not an answer.
I'm not saying they lost because of injuries, but you can't ignore the fact that they are dealing with some major injuries.
All teams are. And if Dak is back there and he's healthy, which he seems to be back from his calf injury pretty well, I think at that point, I mean, you don't have any excuses at that point.
The Packers dropped a game due to injuries.
Gallup has to play better. Cedric Wilson has to play better.
Struggling with the injuries that they've sustained.
Oh, agreed. But some teams are overcoming them. They just are. But what the point I'm trying to make is that all teams are hurt.
Sure.
All teams are hurt. If you look at the injury report for every single team, there's 8 to 10 players easily on every single team. And we're talking about starters. I mean, the Chiefs started 2 rookies on the offensive line. Now, one of them has been starting the entire season, but the fact of the matter is that they had 2 rookies out there on the starting offensive line. I'm sorry, man, but I think the Cowboys will get it back on track, taking on the Oakland Raiders on Thanksgiving afternoon. I don't see the Cowboys losing this particular game because I think the wheels have fallen off for the Raiders because of all the turmoil off the field with them, with Gruden, with Ruggs, other players getting in trouble. It's just a bad time for the Las Vegas Raiders right now. I think the Cowboys will win on Thursday.
Yeah, they're definitely going to get better. Like, Vegas is a get-right game for Dallas, if there ever was one.
Exactly. And they're home. So let's just make it happen. Cowboys right now are 7-3. Again, kickoff is at 3:30 on Thursday on Thanksgiving. You can hear it here on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. When we come back, let's talk UTSA Roadrunners football. What an incredible weekend for the Roadrunners. The miracle season continues. The march to an undefeated season continues. Let's talk about it. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, and on the go at sasportstar.com.
There's no other game like college football. And no one covers it better. It's game day every day for us. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The UTSA Roadrunners improved to 11-0 in a thriller against UAB, taking the win 34-31. With 3 seconds left, Frank Harris connected with Oscar Cardenas for a go-ahead touchdown and win the Conference USA West Division Championship. The Dallas Cowboys lost their 3rd game of the season to the Kansas City Chiefs 19-9. Dallas will have a short week to prepare for the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day with the 3:25 kickoff. The Houston Texans pulled off the upset of the weekend, going into Tennessee and defeating the Titans 22-13 for their first win since week 1 of the season. And the San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight to host the Phoenix Suns. The Spurs try to snap a 4-game losing streak with tip-off at 7:30. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Nigel, why is there a giant turkey standing on my desk?
Oh, that's not just any turkey, Joel. That's Harold. And I thought he'd help everyone here at Quarter Moon Plumbing get in the Thanksgiving spirit. Tell Joel hi, Harold.
Hi, Harold.
Joel, I'm kind of a turkey whisperer, so to speak. I understand Harold, and he understands me.
Well, then whisper these words, Nigel. Deep fried.
Oh, no! Calm down, Harold. He didn't mean it. Feathers in my mouth.
From all of us at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, we hope your Thanksgiving is filled with food, family, and fellowship. But most importantly, it's time to give thanks. And our entire staff wants to say thank you. Being a part of San Antonio and the surrounding communities is a blessing for each and every one of us. We couldn't ask for a better community to be a part of. So thank you, and happy Thanksgiving from all of us here at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC. Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 651-5899.
License number M13229 TACLA 000743458.
Hey parents, here's some good news for America's future. Kids ages 5 to 11 are now eligible for a COVID vaccine. That means all those future CEOs and artists, world-class chefs and sports stars, the engineers and the innovators are eligible for a vaccine that can help protect their future. And it's specifically formulated just for them. Find vaccines near you at vaccines.gov. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. That's better. Big news. The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera with 50% off a new system this week. Visit simplysafe.com.
Avid golfer Cam Warren played with joint pain for as long as he could.
Couldn't play golf for any extended period of time without braces and pain and chewing Advil for the entire day.
Then he turned to steroids.
Cortisone would last a few months, but it just inevitably came right back. Got to the point where I would have to wear ice packs to bed.
When the word surgery came up, Cam started looking elsewhere, and he found QC Kinetics. Natural biologic therapies, regenerative treatments that can repair and restore damaged tissue with no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. And now,
very proud to say that it has definitely changed my life. I've played 36 holes multiple days in a row without pain. Everything is great.
Call QC Kinetics now to schedule your free consultation.
I would recommend QC to anybody.
Call QC Kinetics 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. QC Kinetics 571-0318.
Hey y'all, I'm Grant Pinkerton of Pegaden's Barbecue in downtown San Antonio. We only smoke prime meats with a blend of post oak and mesquite. Come see us for some of those giant beef ribs, tender brisket, and a cold big red. We have a Texas-sized bar, great selection of bourbon, and tons of local beers. I love sports, so we have plenty of screens to watch them on. We're open Wednesday through Sunday for lunch and dinner or until we sell out. Come early, come hungry, and stay late.
Cha-ching, cha-ching, let sleigh bells ring. It's Ewald Kubota's first annual Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer. We know the idea of trading your trusted Kubota equipment for cash might be tough, but having some cash on hand right before the holidays just might be the cure. Or trade in for a new Kubota Sidekick, Kubota zero-turn mower, or a brand new Kubota SBL or compact tractor. It's your choice during Ewald Kubota's Trade Orange for Green holiday cash offer going on now.
If you've been in an accident, you probably have a lot of questions. Well, after more than 25 years in the business, Thomas J. Henry has the answers. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com/help to get answers to all your personal injury questions, or call us today to speak directly with an attorney who can answer them for you. Thomas J. Henry, here to answer your questions 24/7 nights and weekends. San Antonio, Texas.
A 17-week season and only one couch. Let's hope it holds up. The Cowboys are back. The explosive action happens here. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
We've got the damn mic. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
God, I love this song. Linkin Park is awesome.
Points of authority.
That's right. Rest in peace, Chester. Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. On the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez. You heard the voice of James Pledger. We're going till 2 o'clock. Lots of comments already on Facebook Live and on YouTube.
They hate you.
As long as they respect me, that's all that really matters. They don't do that either. No, we have lots of people didn't even know about that whole LeBron James incident that happened. Daniel Ray is saying, wow, that dude was mad. Chris Gonzalez on Facebook Live, LeBron is a dirty player.
Yep.
Gabriel Chacon saying the dream is the GOAT. Hakeem Olajuwon talking about the fact that Kevin Garnett had his top 5 of all time list, his top 5 starting lineup. He named himself as the power forward.
Yep.
Had Chamberlain as the center. I can go with
KD
that.
at 3. They said they're switching everything.
Lots of people upset that I make mention of the fact that the Cowboys have injuries and that other teams have injuries, because that doesn't exist, man. Cowboys opponents are always 100% healthy, and whenever the Cowboys lose, it's because of injuries, right?
Nobody said that. Somebody in there mentioned the fact that Carolina was dealing with injuries when they faced them.
I know they had the best player in all of football, Christian McCaffrey, not there.
Oh, best fantasy player.
True. I'll give you that. I'll give you that much. I'll give you that much. Lots of comments. Gabriel Chacon says the 2 dirtiest ways to hurt a player in the NBA is the no-look flail and the step under. Kevin Johnson was the master of both. I believe.
Surprise, no Jaja mentioned there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Others are giving some love to University of Incarnate Word, who, by the way, won the Southland Conference Championship and will host next Saturday afternoon their first playoff game ever against Stephen F. Austin.
I'm in.
Exciting times, man. San Antonio, the 2-1-0 is where college football comes to play and to win. It's so great seeing this out here, but man, what a great time for me to watch it at home.
Yeah, go ahead and
UTSA, man. I'm not going to pretend like I was there, but UTSA football won again in dramatic fashion. Last minute, last second play to keep the undefeated season alive. Now that play was interesting because Frank Harris was a bad snap. Ball hit the turf.
Yeah, he had to pick that up off the ground.
And then not only that, he had to throw it over a linebacker who tipped the ball, and it was caught anyway in the end zone.
Now, for those of you that weren't there, Michael
Jimenez,
the end of this game was phenomenal, right? You're talking about an opportunity in which there was an issue with the replay review, in which a nearly clear catch with the feet inbounds from multiple angles that we were able to see within the studio or within the stadium. They apparently couldn't see this angle on their replay review. But the one thing I will give them, and I told everybody sitting around me this, including Marie J, when I saw it, the one thing I can't argue, I quit watching after I saw the feet were inbounds. Feet, ball, looked at it, saw it, quit paying attention. Did he possess it to the ground when he went out of bounds to the ground? Don't know. That has not been answered. I haven't gone back and looked to see if I can find an angle on that. So I cannot explain if that could be an explanation as to why the call was never overturned.
Yeah, it's never a good thing when there's 30,000 people in the stands or 35,000 who can see what happened, and the ones who need to see the angle don't have access to it.
Yeah.
And maybe they did have access to it, but the fact of the matter is that they called it an incomplete pass. And that seemed to be the end of the season.
Was third. That was third, though,
yeah.
Because it wasn't, because they had another play that ended up being stopped just short of the line of gain on 4th down as they went for it there, which gave the ball back to UAB.
And what's so crazy about it is UAB gets the ball back.
2 timeouts.
UAB gets the ball back and gets it to, it was 3rd and 4 at the 39-yard line. They get 3.5 yards down to the 42.
Mm-hmm.
The chain gang comes out to measure it. 3 chain links away. I mean, we're talking about less than 3 inches away. This is a team that was just gashing the UTSA
defensive line repeatedly throughout the game, averaging 4.5 yards per carry. They needed just 3 yards, and UAB refused to go for it. They played. They said, well, we'll trust the defense. But, man, they gave Frank Harris and the guys the ball back, and that was it.
And a minute 7, and the first thing I looked at Rudy J, because, you know, it was me and Rudy J sitting there. Minix had left to go to the suite at some point. Jimenez didn't show up at all. So I look at him, I was like, they need a shock play early. And Frank Harris manages to find his tight end down the seam with a beautiful pass over the linebacker in front of the safety. Safety lights him up, holds on to the ball. Then there was a huge play in the middle of the field where the receiver catches a drag route underneath and manages to get out of bounds to stop the clock with about 39 seconds left. I don't think the importance of him getting out of bounds has been stated enough. And saving that amount of time, because then you get the big play down the sideline to 88, which sets you up 1st and goal. And Rudy J looks at me with about 9 seconds left and goes, do you run it here? I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
If you run it, you're done.
Yeah, you got 2 plays if you pass it.
You've got 3, I think, if you pass it. I mean, their first play took 2 seconds off the clock.
Right. Well, when Frank Harris ran the ball from the 10 down to the 1, the opposing team, UAB players, were not getting off of him. You know, they were not letting him get up, and it chewed up a lot of the clock. And then it was down to about 9 seconds to go. But so many things needed to happen. It was beyond UAB's coach not going for it on 4th down. Well, first of all, but before that, it was the stop. It was the defender stopping him before the line. It was them UAB not going for it. That
was the huge play of the game.
It was the big play from Frank Harris to the middle of the field. It was the receivers getting out of bounds. It was Frank Harris running it into the 1-yard line. There was like 8 or 9 different scenarios that needed to happen.
Fantastic situational football all around by the UTSA Roadrunners on both sides of the ball.
But I'm going to tell you the greatest thing about that win. The greatest thing about the win, aside from the fact that, yes, it keeps the undefeated season going, aside from the fact that 35,000 people were in the stands, aside from the fact that the UTSA Roadrunners win the West Division and will host Conference USA's championship game, my favorite part of all this pledge was that winning touchdown was a San Antonio connection. Frank Harris from Clemens High School tossing it to Oscar Cardenas from Brandeis High School. Again, if we're trying to recruit San Antonio, if we're trying to recruit Austin, that's how you do it.
2-1-0.
2 more games to go, man.
And by the way, those helmets were sick. Those helmets were a thing of beauty.
I loved it. That's a good look. It's a very good look. But here's the thing about UTSA now. It ain't over yet. It's not over yet. If this is a team of destiny, here's what might be up the hill for the UTSA Roadrunners.
Break it down for me.
The next 2 opponents, potentially the next 2 opponents, would have won a combined 10 games in a row, because this week UTSA is on the road in Denton against University of North Texas, which has won 4 in a row.
And perpetually have had UTSA's number.
Exactly. Well, UAB did too. And on top of that, if after that game, the conference championship game, Western Kentucky is playing against Marshall, the winner of that game on Saturday plays UTSA on December 3rd. Western Kentucky has won 6 games in a row. So North Texas 4 in a row, Western Kentucky 6 in a row. And when UTSA played Western Kentucky earlier this year, UTSA won on the road in dramatic fashion, 52-46. So they want to come back for some payback. Woo! Man, what a season. And then after that, UTSA will probably be, I'm going to go ahead and say they're probably going to be in the Independence Bowl against BYU. I think that's where everything is going. But when we come back, another hour of halftime here on the San Antonio Sports Star, let's talk about Spurs. Katie Goodman will join us in about 15 minutes to talk about San Antonio FC losing in the semifinals this week.
Conference finals.
That's it. But we have another hour to go. This is halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM, on the go at sasportstar.com.
San Antonio Sports Star Pro Football Pick'em. Online at SASportsStar.com. Can you pick the perfect matchups all season long? If so, you could win $50,000. Weekly winners score gift cards to Pinkerton's Barbecue and the Mellow Mushroom. For official contest rules and to play, visit SASportsStar.com. Must be at least 21 years old to play this nationwide contest. One winner will be selected at the end of the season. The Pro Football Challenge from San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
O'Reilly. Don't miss See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get a $15 gift card after mail-in rebate when you purchase a pair of select wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free. Plus, earn triple O rewards points. Get ready for the weather ahead during See Better, Drive Safer month at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Central Builders Incorporated is a family-owned, award-winning general contractor headquartered in San Antonio. Since 1989, CBI has completed over $1 billion in construction projects, including large-scale remodeling, expansions, and ground-up construction. The award-winning CBI has also been recognized by the San Antonio Business Journal as one of the best places to work for the past 4 years, and Central Builders is hiring. Learn more at centralbuilders.net. That's centralbuilders.net.
For over 2 centuries, Jim Beam has been bringing people together. Now you can bring them wherever you go with friends and family. Introducing Jim Beam Highballs to go, refreshing and ready for sharing. Their classic highball and Beam and Ginger Highball are made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey. They're a new take on a tradition, 7 generations in the making. Find Jim Beam Highballs to go at a store near you. Jim Beam Classic Highball made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, natural flavors, and seltzer water. 5% alcohol by volume. Copyright 2020, James B. Beam Distilling Company, Claremont, Kentucky. Drink smart.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
New this month on BritBox, from New York Times bestselling crime writer Anne Cleeves comes a new original crime drama, The Long Call, exclusively on BritBox. Start your free trial at BritBox.com/radio. That's BritBox.com/radio.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com.
Simple Green.
All used cars are not the same. At Give Me the VIN, we pay more for the clean ones. You got a nice one that's nicer than everybody else's? Go to GiveMeTheVIN.com, load it up. I'll pay you more. If it's normal, we'll pay you the top of normal. If it's crappy, we'll pay you the top of crappy. But we do understand the difference at GiveMeTheVIN.com, and we can price them both. But we're America's best car buyer because we bought $1 billion of cars in 2021. Only at
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Hey, San Antonio Sports Star listeners, this is Michael Kielbasa with Kielbasa Smoked Meats. Thanks to fans like you, you can now buy Kielbasa products just about everywhere. We hope you continue to enjoy our handcrafted, small batch smoked meats because we sure enjoy making them for you. So grab some today and let me know what you think. My number's on the back of every pack. Right by my promise that if it's not the best you've ever tasted, I'll give you your money back. Find Kielbasa at a store near you today.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown is coming home to San Antonio, December 3rd at AT&T Center. You'll see Universal Champion Roman Reigns.
The head of the table.
As he joins SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, to face Finn Balor.
You want to come at Finn? You better not miss.
And the Street Profits.
We want the smoke!
Plus many more in action. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
This is the home of the Cowboys, Rangers, and Aggie football. KZDC, San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN, AM 1250 and 94.5 FM. Michael Jimenez.
Halftime.
All right, it's hour number 2 of halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. On the go at sasportstar.com. My name's Michael Jimenez, joined by James Pledger. We're on live on Facebook and YouTube. All you got to do is look us up on Facebook or YouTube, San Antonio Sports Stars page. Like, subscribe. You can take part in the show by leaving a comment or two, and lots of them are coming in. Some of them don't like me. It's okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. We just got a caller that did.
I know. Somebody called in and was like, dude, thank you for not making excuses for the Cowboys. It just is what it is, man. The Cowboys are a good team, and I'm not trying to be two-faced about it. It's just one of those things where the Cowboys are a good team. They're probably one of the 4 to 5 best teams in the NFL. But, you know, they lay eggs from time to time. And in the playoffs, it's all about getting healthy. If you're a Cowboy fan and you want your team to win the Super Bowl, don't necessarily cheer for them to win every game. Cheer for them to be healthy when the playoffs come around. That's it. If they're the healthier team, more than likely they're going to be the winning team. Agreed?
Yeah. I mean, this is a team when healthy, which here's the thing. We haven't even seen this team really healthy this year. The first week of the season, Michael Gallup leaves during the game with a calf injury, and we don't see him for like 9 weeks. Like, the attrition started almost before the season even started for the Cowboys.
For me, the Gallup injury was not a big deal. For me, Amari being in and out, not a big deal. I will say, though, CeeDee Lamb not being there, that is probably the biggest injury the Cowboys have, because even more to me than Randy Gregory or anybody on the defensive line, I think that CeeDee Lamb, that makes the offense go. Now, the offense was sputtering before the injury, but still, that's the biggest loss, because Cedric Wilson was not filling in very well yesterday.
Yeah, Cedric Wilson had probably his roughest game of the season, as he really needed to step up and did not.
We have lots to talk about. Katie Goodman will join us to talk soccer in about 15 minutes or so. We have a lot to get into. Spurs are back in action tonight. But before we talk about the Spurs, and we're going to talk about movie sequels also around 1:30, our favorite movie sequels, because I saw over the weekend Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'll give a little mini review of it all.
Can we go back into my bones? I told you I have multiple bones to pick with you.
Yes, but one of the things that we were talking about off air was the disrespect that Rudy J gave us. We love Rudy J. Love that
Who's
man.
us? Who's us? Because this is one of my bones.
So, you know, sometimes things happen and you don't think about it until later on, and then you replay it in your mind and go, did that really happen? So we were all talking about this Papa Shot contest amongst the San Antonio Sports Star people. You know, Rob Thompson, who didn't take part, Jason Minix, who I guess did. You know, Quinn Hudson and Rudy J and myself. And the thing is we're reliving it. Rudy J won. But he won going away, and he won to the point where after about 15 seconds were still left on the clock, he walked away and started talking trash. Not to me, but he started talking trash to Quinn. Or maybe it was in our general direction, saying, like, you know, just started just like spouting
you don't
off.
want none of this.
Yeah. And I was like, wait a minute, was he disrespecting us? I can't wait for Wednesday. We'll have to talk to him about this. Because I admire it. I'm not mad.
Well, I don't know if you know this. There is no Wednesday.
Oh, there isn't?
We're done after tomorrow.
Even better.
We got a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off.
Daddy like. Daddy like. Spurs back in action tonight against the Phoenix Suns, a very hot Phoenix Suns team. Spurs, you know, just kind of is what it is, man. Right now, kind of going back and forth between the 4th and 5th worst record in the NBA. Do we have any expectations of the Spurs putting up a fight tonight and actually pulling out a win?
No. Wow. But that's... Did you expect to have one?
Well, hopefully better than what they had been doing last week. I mean, there were some games last week where the Spurs didn't seem to have their hearts in it, and the Suns are coming in looking really hot. Chris Paul doing really well.
I mean, you've got Ayton coming in, you've got Booker, you've got all of these guys coming in, and I'm wondering who's going to be guarding who tonight.
Okay. I imagine DeJounte's probably guarding Chris Paul, which means you've got probably Derek White guarding Devin Booker.
I would hope not. I would want to see either Vassell on Booker, or I would like to see
Vassell
DeJounte
doesn't
Murray.
Start.
Vassell should be starting. That's
the
part of the
issue.
thing.
You asked me to go who's guarding who.
I mean, Devin Booker right now averaging 22.5 points a game, averaging almost 6 rebounds and 5 assists. He's a super stud out there. Phoenix is favored by 5.5 points. It's just one of those things where I don't want the Spurs to be super dejected by this season. It's going to be a long, long season. And everywhere you look, the Spurs are playing a team that's better than them. And this particular game is a team that's a lot better than them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Suns coming in with a 13-3 record, 5-1 on the road. I mean, the Spurs have a losing record at home at 2-4.
It is a team that went to the NBA Finals that has brought everybody back.
Yeah.
That's all you really need to say.
Just protect Devin Vassell, man. Put him in bubble wrap. Don't get hurt, Vassell. Don't get hurt, DeJounte, because we're going to need you for the future. But what I like about this season, though, is I think we've reached the point where we know that it's no longer a Spurs core. We know that it's more along the lines of the Spurs only have 3 or 4 players that appear to be good players for an upcoming rebuild. I think the Spurs are going to drop a lot of players this upcoming season.
Oh,
I bet you next season we only have maybe 5 players return.
Wow. You think that the turnover is going to be that big?
It's going to be a huge turnover this offseason.
Is it going to be via trade? Because a lot of these people are under contract.
A couple of them will be out of trade. I wouldn't doubt that 1 or 2 of them will be just let go. Lonnie Walker probably won't be re-signed. I mean, I know some maybe 6 or 7 return, but honestly, only 5 deserve to be. Get some headlines. Here's some pledge with the 411 and the 210.
Here's the 411 in the 210. Headline 2.
We'll start things off with the Denver Broncos top wide receiver, Cortland Sutton, agreeing to a 4-year extension worth just under $61 million, 60.8 to be precise. Sutton's deal includes $34.9 million in guarantees and will bring the 4th-year veteran wideout back at $18 million in the first season of the deal, sources say. Sutton was scheduled to be an unrestricted free agent at season's end, and the 26-year-old missed all but 2 games in 2020 with a torn ACL, but has returned to lead the Broncos in receptions, receiving yards this season. The Broncos also signed wide receiver Tim Patrick to a 3-year, $30 million deal this past season. And remember, Jerry Jeudy is on the 2nd year of his rookie contract.
These are all good receivers, man. I mean, they're not great receivers. Cortland Sutton does a decent job. You know, he's going to be somebody out there getting you between 800 and 1,000 yards per year. He'll get you 60 or 70 receptions. He's
Imagine
a good
if they
player.
had a quarterback.
Exactly. That's the thing. Jeudy has the potential to be a really, really good player. I mean, he was a first-round draft pick, for crying out loud. But, I mean, it's one of those things where you take a look at that division. Every team has a winning record, or at the very least is 500. They're still in it. It's going to be a dogfight towards the rest of the way, but the Chiefs are going to run away with it.
Headline 1.
Nuggets forward Michael Porter Jr. could be done for the year. The Nuggets forward, who just signed a 5-year, $207 million extension before the start of the season, reportedly might require back surgery to address a nerve issue. This, according to the Denver Post's Mike Singer. He previously underwent a microdiscectomy to repair a bulging disc in 2017 in college at Missouri, and another one on his spine in the summer of 2017. Big deal?
No. Michael Porter Jr., let me ask you this question. Is he a good player?
No big deal.
Is he a good player?
Yes.
I think he's overrated, man. I mean, he's had a season out there where he's had 19 points a game and had a 7-rebound season as well. But he's slightly overrated. He's a decent player, but it's not like it's somebody that is a franchise player. He's the 3rd or 4th best player on that team. I mean,
yes, but I mean, you're talking about 5 years, $207 million,
That's
and you're
their
talking
fault.
about back surgery.
That is their fault. I'm sorry. I'm just not a big Michael Porter Jr. guy.
I get that, but to say it's not a big deal, that's a huge deal when you're talking about the future of this franchise.
They've already been without him this year on the court. So, I mean, I don't think it's as big of a deal on the court, but off the court, when it comes to the salary cap, okay, then it's a big deal when it comes to that because that's a lot of money for one player. But what's on the court right now, it's not going to really impact it too much because he's a little overrated.
But I'm talking about off the court because you're talking about a lot of money tied up in one player that is in a smaller market. And look at the rest of the NBA and signing in multiple players to big supermax deals.
Hey, good for him, man. The direct deposit still hits.
No, for him. I'm talking about because when you're talking
this is
about,
a good thing for the Spurs then.
I get it. No, why? No, I'm talking about in terms of signing multiple people to big long-term contract supermax type extensions.
Right.
Does this keep smaller markets from possibly wanting to spend that kind of money, knowing that money could eventually hurt this franchise in the future?
I see what you're saying. A lot of eggs in one basket. I get that, right? But you either play to win or you don't. You either sign the good players or you don't. It sucks that this happened to the Nuggets, and this might be a long-term deal for them. Might help the Spurs, though, because, again, it's one less team to worry about. Now, don't get me wrong. They have other talented players elsewhere on the court. I don't think it's going to affect them too much. I think he's kind of overrated.
Headline 0.
Source: Green Bay Packers lose starting offensive lineman Elgton Jenkins to a season-ending torn ACL in their 34-31 loss to the Minnesota Vikings yesterday. Also, Aaron Rodgers is suffering from a toe injury described by himself as worse than turf toe.
No. Only Cowboys get injuries. Dude, all teams have injuries. Those are two big ones right there. Obviously, you don't want to lose an offensive lineman. And those toe injuries right there are a little bit weird because you don't know when it's going to strike. And when it comes to planting your foot, if you're I don't know if it's his planting foot or not. What toe is it?
I'm not sure exactly which toe it is.
If it's the one that he plants on, that particular foot, then it's a really big deal.
Because think of, the drop back, not the follow through. Like you have to stop, press in your drop back to switch your weight forward. That's also a big injury in terms of the quarterback. But here's the thing. When did he suffer this toe injury? Because I thought he missed a week due to COVID. Did he injure this toe in a non-football related activity during his isolation?
I like how you go to places that I never would have been, man. That's amazing. But no, it's one of those things where these injuries are all starting to pile up. Kyler Murray, Dak Prescott missed some time. The Bucs have some injuries. They're all beaten up right now. It's all about getting healthy. It's not getting hot at the right time. It's being healthy at the right time, and all of these teams are dealing with it.
That's the 411 and a 210.
San Antonio FC lost to Orange County FC in the Western Conference Finals. Historic season coming to an end, and we're going to have Katie Goodman joining us in a minute. Is she there, Pledge? Oh, well, let's keep on going.
I mean, I've been on the air with you. I haven't really had time to make a phone call.
Okay, well,
you got to understand the logistics of how things work. I can't talk to somebody on the phone and you at the same time.
Bro, I got a rundown saying we're talking certain things.
Well, you're also 3 minutes early on it.
Okay, well,
is it 2:10 or 2:20?
Let me ask you this, though. I saw a tweet from John Dyer on Twitter the other day, and other people said this as well. So maybe you can leave us a comment on Facebook Live or on YouTube regarding UTSA football. Was the UTSA game, the win against UAB, one of the 5 best sports moments in San Antonio history? I had some people say on Twitter,
oh wow,
that it was the best sports story or the best sporting event in San Antonio since the Memorial Day Miracle back in 1999 with Sean Elliott, which also happened inside the Alamo Dome. Kind of interesting. I would say I don't want to be prisoner in the moment when it comes to that, because I think it's probably is a top 10, but it could be a top 5 or a top 2 or 3. Now, let me tell you how I get to that. If UTSA does pull off the miracle season and go undefeated, goes 12-0, then 13-0, and then goes to a bowl game and wins at 14-0, I would say that yes, at that point, because it saved the season, that it would be probably one of the 2 or 3 best plays. But I don't know if you can consider that, because as of now, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment when it comes to that, but man, so proud of the UTSA Roadrunners. I am an alum. They have two really big games coming up right now against Houston, North Texas, rather, out in Denton this weekend. After that, they play the winner of Marshall against Western Kentucky. Those two teams are playing each other on Saturday. The winner going to the Conference USA Championship game. Western Kentucky on a 6-0 run. Won 6 games in a row. When was that last time Western Kentucky lost again? Oh, yeah. Let's do the UTSA Roadrunners. 52-46. I see a smiling face on YouTube Live and on Facebook Live. That is Katie Goodman, our runner-up for Rock the Mic 6. How you doing, Katie?
I'm good. How are you guys doing today?
Doing well. So San Antonio FC, their historic season has come to a close. Lost the Western Conference Finals to Orange County FC. What happened?
Yes, they lost, but dang, was it a good game. I mean, it was not one of those games that they went and threw it to the win. I mean, they were fighting until the very last minutes. Not only did they go into overtime, they went into double overtime. And then they went into PKs and they lost it in PKs. So, I mean, it's one of those things where their legs must have been so dead by the end of double overtime. But, I mean, in the regular minutes, it was really interesting. And I really think had the first goal not gone in from Orange County, we would have had the game. And what's sad is the first goal was a volley off of a long throw in. So it just caught our defense kind of asleep in that moment. We had a kind of a rough first half, but the second half we were high pressing the whole time. I mean, our keeper barely touched the ball until the first overtime, and so luckily we scored in the 67th minute off a really nice header. Epps had some mad ups and he just kind of towered over one of their defenders and put it right in the back of the net. So it was really nice there. But that got us into overtime. And then Matt Cardone, our keeper, made incredible saves. I mean, 3 huge saves within the PK box. So that's something to be said there. And then when it came to PKs later in the game, he actually was able to get his hand on a couple, but they still went in. So what kind of did it for us was on the 4th PK, Justin Dillon, he hit the post and the keeper jumped the wrong way. So had he not hit the post, we could have had it. It was just so close you could taste it. And it's just one of those tough losses, but at least they can walk away saying that they had a really good game. And Orange County is nothing to sneeze at. I mean, like I said, California soccer is great. They had some people on various national teams on their roster. So that's just, it's going to be tough, and they did a great job.
Now, Katie, this seems to come up every single time when we talk about soccer, their overtimes and then penalty kicks and the way it happens. The same way in college football, we talk about their overtime and starting at the 25. But as a soccer purist yourself and someone who's played soccer, how do you feel about when a game ends in PKs?
Oh, it's the most aggravating thing. I don't know. It's like it could be the greatest thing in the world or the worst thing in the world, all because of one split-second decision. But then you look back, and especially if you lose, you're thinking of all the things you should have done in regular time. That if you had done that there, you wouldn't be in overtime, then you wouldn't be in PKs, and then you just ruminate. I mean, it's I'm feeling for them. Let's just say that I'm totally feeling for them. But what's really cool is they had a huge fan base show up at the airport for them when they landed. So I'm like, they know they're still loved. They know they're still loved, but dang, I know they're kicking themselves for that one.
That's Katie Goodman, San Antonio Sports Star soccer insider. She was also runner-up for Rock the Mic 6. Now, you've played professionally in soccer, so knowing what you know about soccer and the fact that it was such a devastating loss in penalty kicks after double overtime and coming off a historic season where they've done so well, how disappointing is it that you think for a player to experience that, but then also to look back in time and go, okay, we still had a good season?
First off, thank you, Daniel Reyes, for that comment. I saw that you just posted on our YouTube. That was very nice. But no, I mean, there's a lot of mixed emotions, right? Because I think if you leave the game giving everything you've had, you can't regret anything. If you know that you put in your personal best and then you did your best for your teammates and that your teammates played a great game, it's just kind of like, what can you do? It's outside of putting in your personal best, it's kind of out of your control, right? But, for it to slip away with PKs, it's just one of those things that it's kind of like nails on a chalkboard for some of us. It's those kinds of things as an athlete that you go to bed thinking about for weeks. And there's the plays that you replay in your head. I don't know how to explain it. But, I still think of plays from years ago in college that, I'm like, if it hadn't hit the post, man, if it hadn't hit the post, like you get lit, man. But, yeah, so like I said, I'm feeling for them. There's nothing you can do about it. But I think this is so good for them. They really needed this morale boost. Previous seasons, they hadn't been really doing that great. They were struggling even to get into playoffs. So for them to go this far and do as well as they did, I think that we're going to see even better from them next season. And we have young talent like Bogaka. He's amazing. He's a rising star. He's only going to get better.
Yeah.
So I think they're finally finding flow. Courtney Ford has mentioned how, he was so happy he got to play in the USL, even though he's on loan from MLS. He was able to play in the USL and kind of revive his career as a result of it. So it's just good vibes all the way around, even though it was a loss, but it's going to stink for a while. It's going to burn. It's going to be a slow burn.
Katie Goodman, our Rock the Mic runner-up, and San Antonio Sports Star's own soccer insider joining us here on Halftime. Now, Katie, you talked about Ford being on loan. What does this offseason hold for San Antonio FC, and what's this team going to look like as we move into next season?
Off season is a great time to build up strength, to work on those little things that weren't quite working in the season, maybe connecting passes, maybe getting better at executing goals, things like that. Looking into new talent. I'm hoping that they really set up a bunch of different friendlies. I would love to see them play maybe a Mexico team. I would love to see them play someone in Liga Mexico and just see who they are under real pressure from a great team like that. And when they play and have those friendlies, it not only helps them to improve as players, but it helps them to give them exposure as well, international exposure. So I think that would be a great setup if they could get something like that going. But again, I'm not privy to any of this information. This is just what I would love to see. I wish I were. But so I think you're going to see a lot of like fitness training, bulking up, especially with the younger talent coming in. This is where they have to make up for time lost to kind of keep up with the older guys. Now, when it comes into next season, they seem to be doing things pretty well, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I think all you can do is kind of, build on what you've already been doing.
Now, Katie, one last question before we let you go. How important is it to have San Antonio FC in this community, for the soccer community that's here, and to have the growing crowds out there at the Toyota?
Oh, it is so important. Representation, especially for kids in sports, is huge. Imagine being in a city where you don't realize the impact a sport can play in your life. But then imagine being in a city where you go and there's a huge stadium and there's a crowd cheering and these players are doing amazing things and executing gorgeous goals. There's kids out there looking at this and wanting to be in their shoes, so it's so important that we have it not only on the men's side, but on the women's side. And so what is this question? Can U.S. men beat Canada, and where will they play? Okay, I'll get to that in a second. Before I go there, I just have to say representation matters both for men and women. I think San Antonio's ready for an NWSL team. I play for San Antonio Athenians. We're a semi-pro team. We're not quite pro yet, but we have the fan base. We played professional teams from Mexico last summer. We played Houston Dash in the NWSL, and we lost 2-1. So, come on, we're ready. Let's go. So I think it's important for both girls and guys alike to have that representation. But yeah, I mean, for community in general, it's very important. There's a huge soccer world here in San Antonio, and we need somebody to support. So SAFC does that for us. Now, you want me to answer that Canada
real
question
fast? Yes.
That just popped up.
So
Yes.
restate the question first. Gabriel Chacon, one of our listeners.
Yes, I believe it was, can the U.S. men's national team beat Canada and where will they play? I don't know where they will play, but Canada's definitely beatable. They've been beatable in the past. In fact, the way the U.S. men's national team has been playing has been a little questionable because sometimes we play up, sometimes we play down. Like I said in previous interviews, we're just matching the energy of the team we're up against. So in that way, it makes for a really interesting match. You never know what you're going to get. But Canada has been great. I can't even deny that. They've been great. They're leading the pack. They've been consistent. That's going to be a hard team to beat. But are they beatable? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think we just got to pull it together. We need to make sure Pulisic is in there. We need to make sure Pepe is in there working together. Brendan Aronson, he's also a huge playmaker. All of those forwards, we just need to make sure we're working in connection with our midfield to really get in on the attack. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of times we have that breakdown right there in that area, and the defense can only handle so much.
All right.
Offense is it putting it in the net.
Someone posted that we're 363 days away from the World Cup, so pretty exciting times. I like to get together at Twin Peaks or at Rue Pub or something like that to watch it. No, I'll stay home. I'll stay home. But that is Katie Goodman, San Antonio Sports Stars soccer insider, Rock the Mic runner-up. Thank you for being on Halftime, Katie.
Yes, thanks for having me. You guys have a good one.
All right, let's talk movie sequels when we come back. Our favorite sequels out there. Bringing it up because I saw Ghostbusters Afterlife. Don't worry, no spoilers coming back, but let's talk movies when we get back. This is Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250. 94.5 FM, and we're on the go at sasportstar.com.
Here we go. The Dallas Cowboys live here all season long. Every snap.
I love it.
Every catch.
Let's go have a day, huh?
Every touchdown. Plus, we'll give you the complete breakdown and preview of every game from our experts. Dallas Cowboys insiders and head coach Mike McCarthy. We're all fans.
Yeah! Yeah!
Hear the call from Brad Sham and the Dallas Cowboys Radio Network. Right here on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
How's your cell phone coverage? How's your cell phone bill? You know, a lot of big carriers overcharge you for unlimited data. They brag about coverage, but that's only if you live in the city. This is Greg Akagi. I've been an agriculture director for over 20 years, and I know what people outside the city need. Pure Talk. Pure Talk gives you great 5G coverage for about half of what Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile charge you. The average family saves over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone, or save on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With their U.S.-based customer service, I believe in the way Pure Talk treats their customers. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say half off, and you'll save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 and say half off.
Do you love your garage? Can you get your cars and the kids' bikes in? Jason Minnick's here for Garageization, your garage storage solution. With a variety of shelving, overhead racks, slat walls, and closed cabinet options, Garageization can make your garage functional for the entire family. Call 210-664-4494 and have them give you a free customized plan for your family's needs. For over a decade, Garageization has helped people love their garage. Learn more online at GarageOrganizationSanAntonio.com.
Fever is a potential sign of COVID or the flu, and the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Exergen Temporal Scanners, available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and SouthernRecipeSmallBatch.com to see the power of the rinds.
Southern Recipe pork rinds.
Tired of living with awful joint pain? If you've been to an orthopedic surgeon, you know the drill. Pain meds, steroids, physical therapy, right? When those Band-Aids don't work, you know what's next. Surgery. Major surgery. Hey, it's James Pledger for San Antonio Sports Star. Don't do it. Not until you check out QC Kinetics. Get a second opinion and learn more about natural biologic treatments, restorative, regenerative alternatives that can repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, shoulders, backs, and hips, and other joints as well. QC Kinetics uses natural biologics from your own body and concentrates them in their precise damaged area for lasting relief. And it's an in-office treatment with no downtime, no drugs, and no surgery. Don't go under the knife if you don't have to. Call QC Kinetics and get a second opinion now. You have nothing to lose. Call the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. Non-surgical regenerative options are here. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park and Westover Hills.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
The best seat in the house is on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Welcome back to halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. On the go at sasportstar.com. Contrary to popular belief, James Pledger does not get injured in hacky sack games.
You get injured, period.
I know. Someone commented that on Facebook. What was that all about?
Well, I mean, I get it. I feed the narrative of a stereotype of someone that I look like something. I get that. But yeah, I don't get sick. I don't get injured. Like that's, and if I do get hurt, I played through I actually did separate my AC joint in high school playing football.
Yeah.
And played through it.
What
and
position were you?
Defensive back and receiver. And actually, I kept hearing cracking in it throughout the season because I would just every week. I think about a month later, I finally went to go see what was really wrong with it. Found out it was not only separated, but it already started to heal itself.
No wonder why Tweeter is your favorite character on Varsity Blues. Dude, I went to the movies this weekend, so while everyone was walking into the Alamo Dome to watch the UTSA UAB game,
oh yeah,
I was walking out of Flicks on 1604 in Petranco because I had to get home in time to watch the game on TV.
Yeah.
Checked out
instead of being there at it, like you said you
I
were.
have kids, man. I have kids, and my daughter was like,
"Oh, Rudy J doesn't have kids.
You want to go see Ghostbusters Afterlife?" I'm like, "Okay, baby, anything you want." So
Rudy J doesn't have kids. Is that what you're saying?
You know what? I'm going to use my excuse for myself. Okay, I can't judge him.
Sounds like you are. Sounds like you're mad at him for walking off against y'all. With the amount of disrespect, with 13 seconds still on the clock, up like 15 to 18 baskets, and just going, "I'm good."
So walking out of there, we saw
the amount of disrespect I felt when y'all didn't even invite me for the Papa Shot competition, which was sparked on Twitter with me winning the poll.
You know what? Retroactively, we'll go to that same Slackers and we'll just see. We'll make it count. So, you know, Rudy J's 116 points is still on the line. That's the number to beat. Now, Ghostbusters Afterlife, I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I was talking to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs.
Did you see the first two?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And I saw the first three.
I'm actually surprised by that.
Yeah, one of the few movies, because those of you who listen to the show may already know the fact that I didn't watch a lot of 80s movies growing up. I didn't start watching movies until like 1990 for some reason. Sheltered, I guess. But I did see the Ghostbusters movie growing up, and I've been a big fan of it. I love Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and Harold Ramis. They're amazing. I grew up on that movie. Watching the sequels were fine, you know.
Ghostbusters 2 was great.
Yeah, Ghostbusters 2 was fine. And then you go to the one where you had the female cast, Kristen Wiig.
That doesn't count.
That one was okay.
That doesn't count.
It wasn't great, but it was all right. But I'll tell you this much. This movie was really good.
Okay.
I really liked it. And Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs just completely hated on it on Twitter, and I'm there going, dude, I knew for a fact you weren't going to like it because he doesn't like sequels. I mean, I'm going to go and be under the impression that he doesn't like sequels unless it's a Marvel movie.
It's not about a sequel, I think. It's about continuing a movie that is, for all intents and purposes, done. Like the original cast is done. You can't have Harold Ramis anymore. The original director's gone, and Ivan Reitman. This was directed by his kid. But I mean, it's really hard to continue to tell a story of something from 30 years ago.
They managed to bridge it, and they bridged it very well.
That's fantastic to hear.
They managed to bridge it very well, and I think the best part of it was knowing that the original movie came out when I was 7 years old, and I have a 9-year-old daughter, and my 9-year-old daughter loved this movie. Loved this movie.
Have you showed them the originals?
You know what? I think I have one time, but it's been a while. She has seen the female cast one. I know she hasn't seen the second one. I know for a fact she hasn't seen the second one. But the original one, I think she has seen. But okay, whenever you have a sequel, again, you're going to have to go back in time and revisit certain things, and there's certain parallels. I get that, man. But I love the fact, I love the cast. First of all, the girl that was one of the main characters, she's probably 14, 15 years old. She plays the character Paige on Young Sheldon. And so we've already seen her in the light of being a nerdy scientist, and now she's a nerdy scientist in this. It makes sense.
Typecasting.
It made sense. It was good. It was good fun. It was worth the $12 to get in there. I absolutely enjoyed it. Now, during the movie, though, was a little bit weirded out because my father-in-law was there, and I love that man like crazy.
Okay.
But I never know how to do public displays of affection in front of my father-in-law, and I kind of wanted to like not do it. And my wife picked up my hand, my wrist, and put it on her knee. Nothing tawdry, it wasn't high up or anything, but it put it on her knee, and I felt nervous the entire time that it was there. I'm 44 years old, you know, we've been married for 10 years, and I still felt weird because I was thinking to myself while this was going on, like, you know, my daughter, I have a teenage daughter, you know, I don't want to see public displays of affection. I'm thinking to myself, well, what happens when she's 30? What happens when she's 40? Am I going to be okay with it? So I tried to shy away from it, but no, wasn't going to happen.
This seems to be an ongoing issue with it. You must go to a lot of movies with your father, because this isn't the first time I've heard this story, because you talked about this happening before and you kind of pulling away, and she's like, no, this is what we do at movies.
And I love her for it. That's amazing. No, but no, we do. My father-in-law is a movie freak. He watches, I mean, like his DVD and Blu-ray collection is more than anyone I know. He's
considering you as
hundreds.
A person, that's weird.
Well, I mean, it's my father-in-law, not my father. You know, so it's just one of those things where, but I was thinking about these sequels coming out, and I have promised you, Pledge, that this week I will watch a sequel. I'm going to tell you which one I'm going to watch.
All right.
I'm going to watch Dark Knight this week.
All right.
I will watch Dark Knight this week, and I will promise you also
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. Okay, put some respect on the name, right? And I'm also going to promise you that next month, when it comes out, I will watch Spider-Man.
All right. All right.
Because
now,
I like Holland. I've liked Garfield. I've liked Tobey Maguire. I don't watch a lot of Marvel stuff, but the fact of the matter is that my daughter, my 9-year-old, loves Spider-Man. And I'm a good dad, and we go to Flicks, or we go to one of the Santikos theaters, and we go check it out.
Now, I have another question for you.
Tell me.
In a few days, do you have Disney Plus?
I do.
In a few days, the first 2 episodes of the series Hawkeye is going to drop.
Is that with Jeremy Renner?
Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld.
Okay, I like both of them. She was on the Pitch Perfect movies, and I saw those sequels.
And this is going to be like a die-hard holiday thriller, fun adventure ride between the two of them.
Is it a series, or is it like a mini series?
It is a series.
Like there'll be multiple seasons?
Undetermined as of yet.
I'm a big Jeremy Renner fan. I mean, from The Town.
Wanda series was a one-off.
That was awful.
Loki was renewed for a second season.
Didn't see it.
Loki was fantastic, by the way.
I did see WandaVision, or I saw like half
Falcon
of it.
And Winter Soldier. No.
Tried it and wasn't happening.
Okay.
But Jeremy Renner I do like. And I understand Hawkeye. I haven't seen anything with Jeremy Renner that I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
I love him in The Town. He was amazing. He was nominated for an Oscar in that movie.
So Thanksgiving Eve, the first 2 episodes drop. Are you going to be ready to talk with me about that come Monday? Are you going to give it a try?
Do I need to have a backstory of who Hawkeye is?
I mean, do you know what happened basically in Endgame and stuff like that?
No.
Okay.
So we'll go over that later. No spoilers here. Now, there was a sequel I did watch the other day, though.
Okay.
Did you know on, I want to say it's Disney Plus, there's a new Home Alone movie.
I've heard about it.
Yeah, it's written by a couple of SNL cast members.
Okay.
And it has that girl from Unbreakable, Kimmy Schmidt.
Okay.
She's in it. And I'm going to be honest with you, I rather enjoyed it. It wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but like...
Because they've already tried to do one without Macaulay Culkin.
Right. And I've seen that one. That one was awful. Okay. This one right here was cutesy because I guess the difference is, and I'm not giving anything away because it's the gist of the movie, but you know, with all the other Home Alone movies, the people breaking into the house are bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
But in this case, the people breaking in are good guys.
What?
You got to watch it to see it, to understand it. But I'm not giving anything away. That's just the gist of the movie.
No, I get it, but it seems I don't
and,
know.
And I the one thing that they resolved though, which I'm not going to get into because I don't want to give away any spoilers, but you know how we always say, well, what happens if there's a like you couldn't have Home Alone again now because there are cell phones and there's this, that, and the other, like technology and whatnot. They figured out the way around that.
Okay.
To have it make sense. It was a decent holiday movie. Obviously, because it's a Home Alone franchise, it is a Christmas type of movie, but it was good. I liked it. It was decent for a holiday movie because, man, sometimes we get forced to holiday movies, and I don't want to watch Hallmark movies, man. I don't want to watch anything from Lifetime or anything like that. I want to watch a decent Christmas movie. I will watch, the old school Christmas Vacation. I will watch, A Christmas Story and stuff like that. But if you need to add a new one to the mix, that new Home Alone movie was fine. I forgot what it's called. It's called Home Alone something or another.
Here's the thing. My holiday movies are booked, as that is the time where, in preparation for Christmas, on Christmas Eve, I watched the first 2 Die Hard movies.
Yeah, that makes sense. I like the Die Hard movies. They're great. By the way, I'm taking a look at the Rotten Tomatoes for Home Alone. It's called Home Sweet Home Alone. Not good. 18% on Rotten Tomatoes. Now the Ghostbusters one is interesting because the Rotten Tomatoes on it was like 65%, which is fresh, right? But the review of the fans, the people going in and out of the theater, was really high. It was well over 90%. It was projected to do 30 to 35 million in its opening weekend. End up doing more than 40. Ghostbusters Afterlife is legit, dude. That's a legit movie. Rotten Tomatoes on Ghostbusters Afterlife is 62%. That means 5 out of 8 critics enjoyed it. And about 90% of the people who went in the building enjoyed it too. So not bad. But we're going to put a bow on the show when we come back. Pledger has a take for his Houston Texans. He's a little bit upset today. They won and he's upset. Find out why. This is halftime on the San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM. We're on the go at sasportstar.com.
This Thanksgiving, we're serving up Cowboys and Raiders. Get the pad-pounding action starting Thursday at 3:30. Presented by AA Best Bail Bonds and Ewald Kubota. San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM. ESPN AM 1250 and 94.5 FM.
The UTSA Roadrunners improved to 11-0 in a thriller against UAB, taking the win 34-31. With 3 seconds left, Frank Harris connected with Oscar Cardenas for a go-ahead touchdown and win the Conference USA West Division Championship. The Dallas Cowboys lost their 3rd game of the season to the Kansas City Chiefs 19-9. Dallas will have a short week to prepare for the Raiders on Thanksgiving Day with the 3:25 kickoff. The Houston Texans pulled off the upset of the weekend, going into Tennessee and defeating the Titans 22-13 for their first win since week 1 of the season. And the San Antonio Spurs return to action tonight to host the Phoenix Suns. The Spurs try to snap a 4-game losing streak with tip-off at 7:30. For San Antonio Sports Star, I'm Carl Schoening.
Alamo Water Softeners is having a Black Friday special until November 27th. Purchase one of their bundles between today and November 27th and receive a free 1-year tune-up on your water softener and a free water heater flush. Jason Minix here. Alamo Water Softeners has water treatment bundles with special pricing to give your home the highest quality water treatment, and they're offering 0% financing for 2 years with approved credit. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference at alamowatersofteners.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Friendsgiving is going to be a little different this year because Capital One's The Match is back on TNT this Thanksgiving weekend with its best edition yet. The 5th installment of this one-of-a-kind event pits 2 of golf's most intense rivals, Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka, against one another in a head-to-head showdown. Watch all the action unfold from the Wynn Las Vegas, November 26th at 4 p.m. Eastern on TNT. You're not going to want to miss this.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too, because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
Jason Minix here for River City Oral Surgery. If you need your wisdom teeth out, a tooth pulled, dental implants, you need to know about Dr. Mark Havercorn at River City Oral Surgery. He offers direct patient care, so you don't need a referral. You simply call, make an appointment, and all prices are listed on the website. That's one of the great things when you go to rivercityoms.com. Even if you have dental insurance, River City Oral Surgery will probably still be less, and all prices are all inclusive, including your post-op care. You know exactly what it's going to cost you before you go in. Free market medicine is the way to go. You know what you're going to pay, and you know you're getting the best care. People drive from all over the state to see Dr. Havercorn, who is an oral surgeon. He's a specialist medical doctor, and he treats people of all ages. Call 210-778-0002 or go to the website rivercityoms.com. rivercityoms.com.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown is coming home to San Antonio, December 3rd at AT&T Center. You'll see Universal Champion Roman Reigns,
the head of the table,
as he joins SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos to face Finn Balor.
You want to come at Finn, you better not miss.
And the Street Profits.
We want the smoke!
Plus many more in action. Tickets start at $20. Available now at Ticketmaster.
If it's rim wrecking board busting action you want, then come and get it.
Catching a right hand dunk.
The greatest ballers on earth are doing their thing on the hard court, and we bring it to you. Catch the action on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
Hi, I'm Jason Minix on your home for Texas Rangers baseball. It's San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN 1250 and 94.5 FM.
I understood the assignment.
Apparently, the Houston Texans didn't, and Pledge has a bone to pick because of it.
Yeah, I mean, really, you have one job. You have one job, and you screwed it up.
They screwed it up how?
They won. This is it. You look. It's the same thing the Spurs fans should be rooting for. Losses are a good thing right now. It's okay for Carl to be excited about wins because that is the team that's put together.
Spurs back in action tonight against the Suns. We'll talk about it tomorrow. This has been Halftime on San Antonio Sports Star, ESPN AM 1250, 94.5 FM.
Happy Christmas.
Rapper with Jack, benefiting Family Service Association, is happening now through December